Julie Ziemelis, 365 Hawaii. There we go. And this panel is actually going to be about, not real estate, but about getting involved in your community, and that is working with the various nonprofits that we have here in West Hawaii. We have 4 nonprofits today. We've got West Hawaii, Habitat for Humanity, Donkey Mill Art Center, the Keiki Museum, and Reef Teach. And so we're going to have an interview with 2 at a time. And what we're going to do is we're going to have them talk about their organization, how you can get involved as a volunteer, and also how you can support them as donors. And then maybe some events that might be coming up for them that you might want to know about. But this is definitely a way for our YouTube audience to know how can you get involved so you can create new friendships and community, give back to the island, and be good people with a spirit of aloha by supporting the people who actually make West Hawaii a beautiful place to live. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with Ashley Raymond, and she is the executive director of the Donkey Mill Art Center. I have to say nepotism is a place here because Eric Ziemelis, my husband, is on their board. But but what they do for the community is provide art, and it's an amazing organization. I'm going to let you tell you about it. So go ahead, Ashley.
Thank you so much. Yes, like Julie said, my name is Ashley Raymond. I'm the executive director at the Donkey Mill Art Center. We are a private nonprofit organization that provides art education to our local community through in-the-school programming. So we'll go to the local elementary schools and teach art curriculum to those classes. And then we also provide it at our campus in Holualoa. So the Donkey Mill is an old coffee mill built in the 1950s, and so back when it was a cooperative, local farmers would bring their coffee to the mill and share resources. So now 27 years later, or the organization is 27 years old, and so now it holds that same spirit of being a community gathering place around art and culture in our community. So beyond the classes that we offer, we also have an exhibition program where we have 4 or 5 rotating exhibitions throughout the year. It's a good opportunity to just come to a potluck, come to a talk story. There's quite a community in Holualoa, and when I moved here 7 years ago, I found that community, and I've been there ever since. So we like to call ourselves a place of convergence, because that's exactly what we are. We are a place that people come and gather, share stories, share aloha. Beyond that, we have studios in many different mediums, printmaking, ceramics, fibers, metal smithing, and then the youth program. We also have events throughout the year, so we have fundraisers, and we also just have cultural events. So beyond like our big annual fundraiser that's coming up in February, we also will have, in the past we've had a Mochitsuki event, which is mochi pounding, the Festival of 1,000 Bowls, all kinds of events that we are typically looking for volunteers to help support. Our organization is a little bit different than maybe some others, where we don't have volunteer opportunities like regularly, but we do have these special events that we're always looking for support. So I encourage you to get in touch with me about that. But another big part of our organization is we also have a board of directors, and that is a volunteer board. So, if you have time or skills that you think you could contribute to our governing body, which is our board of directors, I also encourage you to get in touch with me, if you have facilities experience, HR, or you just really support art education. We are always looking for new members. So, get in touch with me.
How can I get in touch with you?
You can email me. That's probably the best way. I have a business card, but if you are, you can also go to our website and find contact information there. So
it's DonkeyMillArtCenter.com.
DonkeyMillArtCenter.org.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Ashley. Okay. And also, if you love art, literally, the arts community supports Donkey Mill Art Center like no other. So it's a great place to meet other artists, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so definitely, and their classes are amazing. So DonkeyMillArtCenter.org.
Yes.
Okay, and that gives you all the exhibitions and everything else. So next up, we have Margo Takata, and she is the program manager for Habitat for Humanity. And another experience, I used to volunteer on their board as well. And so the ability to help build a home for somebody in our community is so rewarding.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have Margo talk about Habitat.
Hi everyone, thank you for joining us today. I'm Margo Takata. I'm the Community Relations Manager for Habitat for Humanity, Hawaii Island. If you're not familiar with Habitat, we're part of a global Christian organization, housing ministry, that helps families in need fulfill their dream of home ownership. Right now, we are, within the last 5 years, we've helped over 74 families here on Hawaii Island with 42 new builds and 30 plus critical home repairs. So it's a very rewarding experience. Got it?
What's going on?
How about now? Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So back to what we're doing now. So our ministry covers the entire island of Hawaii Island. We joined forces with East Hawaii in 2016 and we became a Habitat Hawaii Island. And we have currently built in Kauai High, Mountain View, Ocean View, and we're looking at starting some new builds out in Discovery Harbor. So it's a very rewarding ministry, and volunteers are very essential for our organization. With the volunteers, we're able to build affordable homes with their work, with their labor. That saves us the cost of building a home for the families. And then the best part about it is that when you come out to volunteers and you get to work with the families and hear their stories, you find that most of these families are hardworking families that just need that extra hand up to become a homeowner here in Hawaii. We've partnered a lot with Department of Hawaiian Homelands. We've partnered with the county, and we've also partnered with HPM in some of our modular home models that we're looking to build out in Puna. We've also helped out with the Kilauea recovery program out there when people had lost their homes due to the eruption. And so it's a major task, but we believe, and our vision is a place where everyone has a safe and decent and affordable place to live. And so we welcome volunteers. We also have not only volunteers at our builds, but we also at our restores that sell used items and sometimes some new items from some of the local stores here on the island. And these funds help us with our mission here on the island. We're also looking for volunteers to help us as well with the board. We know there are volunteer members on the board, and also for our different committees that help us with fundraising, or our construction committee, and just having that extra voice and hand there to help us with our work here on the island. So so if you are interested in volunteering, you can go to our website, habitathawaiiisland.org, and register there. Or you can give me a call at 331-8010, extension 106. Thank you.
Yep. Okay, so I want to open this up real quick for you guys. Have you guys have a story of maybe people creating friendships while they're out at these different sites? You got it? Uh-oh. You got it? Okay. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Hey. We're getting a new sound system.
Testing.
Got it?
Testing.
Okay.
This one.
Well, she's got hers.
Testing.
Is mine going? Okay.
Hello.
One of the things that why we're having this conversation around the panels is the ability to volunteer and make friends. And I just wanted to ask you ladies, have you seen people come into your organizations and meet some new friends and then, get a chance to start going from there? Have you seen that happen? Can you speak to that a little bit?
Most definitely. Where we're located on the upper Mamalahoa Highway is sort of a drive-by road. And so many people will drive past the Donkey Mill Art Center and either kind of look at it with curiosity and say, oh, I'll stop in there someday. Even, people that have lived here their entire lives have never walked into the Donkey Mill. But I have met so many people that have walked in for the first time, and I used to work the front desk for almost 3 years, so I have met a lot of people. But they would walk in and we talk to them, we give them a tour, and we just get to know a little bit more about them, and all of a sudden they become a metalsmith teacher, or they come to the next Thursday potluck, or we invite them to come to the artist talk that's happening that night, and then they come back and then they feel that magic of this space, because it really is, the space kind of provides this sort of collaboration and like intimacy that we hear is unlike any other arts center, and so people do get very hooked on the mill, and yeah, they come back, they take classes, and they find their community, and especially if you're just working in the ceramic studio as an artist, you're also going to be working around other artists, and so you're going to be sharing your process, you're going to be sharing your stories, you're probably going to exchange phone numbers and go to the beach together, or go get dinner. So I see it all the time.
Awesome. And then Margo?
Yes.
Oh, here we go again.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, yes, we also have great stories about that as well. I can think back to the time when we did the Global Village Builds with the La'iapua families. A lot of them had come from the mainland, and they've kept in touch with the families, and just to hear their stories, and they just built that connection that till today, a lot of them are still in contact with these volunteers that have traveled or have come to the builds regularly. If it's okay, we have one of our major volunteer here, Clyde Nakashiwa. He's here today, and I would love for him to come and share his story of why he has volunteered. He's been with us for over 20 plus years.
20 years?
Yeah, so Clyde?
It's a surprise guest.
Hello, my name is Clyde. I've been with Habitat since the late 1980s. I started off when there was no West Hawaii Habitat. There was a Hilo one, and I volunteered, and we built a couple of houses in Hilo. Then when I moved back to the West Side one, the West Side was starting up their habitat, and from when they started to now, I've been volunteering. The reason why I volunteer is that I align with the habitat. Is that what the people always need a house to live in, a decent house. The only way they can get it is through habitat. Some volunteers helping build a house, or they need to have the house remodeled, if the house is deteriorated. We done some in Waimea Village that the houses were deteriorated, and we were able to refurbish the house, convert some of the houses into accessible bathrooms, And I would like to see more volunteers come out, because the faster we get more volunteers, the faster we can build these houses. And you don't have to have any construction experience. We'll show you what to do. We have guys come out who has carpentry experience. Like me, I'm all on the job training. I learned how to build a house with Habitat. So, thank you.
Thank you. That's good. It's nice to hear it right from people who actually swing a hammer. In fact, with the Kona Newbies group, we actually got a group out, and we actually helped build a house in Kauai, and they have a yearly experience called the Women's Build, right? And so no matter when you're actually seeing this video, every year I want the Kona Newbies group to know that they're going to come out and they're going to have this happen every year. So definitely reach out to me. We'll find out when the Women's Build is, and they take men too.
Yes.
And so let's make it so that if you guys are going to join the Newbies group and you're going to be residents here in West Hawaii, that we're building houses, because I think it's very important to be able to give back to the island that way. And hopefully we'll also do some art projects with Ashley here. So I'm going to let these two women go. We're going to bring in two more nonprofits so you guys get to know some new people as well. So give us a switch out real quick. We are in round 2 of our amazing women in West Hawaii who help run organizations that make a difference. So we have Cindi Punihaole, she's with Reef Teach, and also we have Ann Van Brunt, and she's with the Hawaii Keiki Museum. And it's interesting that Reef Teach has been around for many years.
Almost 20 years.
20 years. And Ann's organization, the Keiki Museum, has only been around for
2 months.
2 months. So, out of giving it to the senior here, we're going to let Cindi go first and talk to you guys about the Reef Teach program and the work that she's doing to help save the bay here in Hawaii. So go.
Okay. Oh, mahalo, Julie, for giving me the opportunity to come today and talk story with all of you. I am the program director for the Kahalu'u Bay Education Center. Reef Teach is a program of the Kahalu'u Bay Education Center, and we are a program of the Kohala Center. Our program is really focused on visitors and engaging them and educating them so that they become a part of the solution rather than folks saying, oh, visitors are always a problem. So education to us is very important, but not only education, it's educating our visitors with aloha and providing that kind of opportunity to share with them what we have at Kahalu and all the beautiful different species that you can see there. So Kahalu receives over 400,000 visitors a year, and it's a 4.2 acre park. And so it's so critical that volunteers come and help us educate our visitors every day. And I am blessed and grateful that over these 20 years, coming on 20 years, our volunteers have been with us, educating and engaging with them. We're very proud of Julie, 365 Hawaii, for helping us sponsor our dispensers for mineral sunscreen. It is so important that we take care of our reef. Right now, we have over 1,000 baby cauliflower corals. We call them buttons, and they are thriving. And we need as many people that can help them. And one of the important things is sunscreen. So the first thing we say is when you come and enjoy our bay, to please cover up. But if you do have to wear sunscreen, wear a mineral-based sunscreen. Right now, Hawaii Island has banned chemical sunscreens, so all stores are now selling mineral sunscreens only. So we're very fortunate for that. And again, very, very thankful for Julie and Eric for believing in our work and giving us the chance to continue and share that with our visitors.
Go ahead. So, on this one, a lot of our Kona Yugus people have actually joined the Reef Teach program. We have quite a few volunteers from our group, and then they're becoming friends with one another and pulling in other volunteers from the Kona Yugus group. It's amazing. And we did do the Run for the Reef program. I created a race to help raise $2,500 last year so we can have this free sunscreen that was helping the reef. So whatever we can do to help make sure that our marine environment stays pristine and continues to be healthy. But can you tell people what kind of volunteers and how much time, because this is what's kind of interesting about yours, that you don't have to be a board of director and be there forever. How much time can you give to make a difference?
Yeah, and and what Julie is saying is some of her wonderful newbies are now volunteers, Reef Teach volunteers at Kahalu, but they give whatever time they can. And some come for a couple of hours a week, others come for 2 days, for maybe 3 hours. So for me, it all depends on your schedule. If whatever you can do, we are very thankful. So volunteers are the foundation. For me, they're so precious. They're my diamonds. So we welcome everyone who wants to join us, and let me know, or Julie, and we'll be glad to get in touch with you.
And if people want to learn more about your program, what's the best way for them to learn more about what Reef Teach does?
Well, to learn more about our program, I can either share with you or you can call me. My number is 808-895-1010. 808-895-1010.
Okay, and also I think the Kahala Center is where they might want to go, so the kahalacenter.org.
Oh, yes, well, you can always do that too, kahalacenter.org/KBEC.
Okay, there you go. Okay, KBEC. Okay, okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
And you guys, seriously, I don't know how much more fun volunteering can be looking out over Kahaluu Bay in Hawaii, knowing that you're helping the environment. So that's cool. Okay, so let's talk to Anne Barrett. She is from the Hawaii Keiki Museum, and it is a brand new organization here in Kona.
Yes.
And I've gotten a chance to go inside, and she brought some pictures so you guys can see too, even those people on YouTube. It is an amazing space. And so I'm excited that you guys are doing this and bringing it to Kona. So tell us a little bit about what your organization is and how they can help.
Thank you so much. So we are a pretty new nonprofit in Kailua, Kona, with the mission to educate our keiki, which are children in Hawaii, about the science of the island that they live on. So we know that we have a very beautiful space. We have a very unique island, and if you are used to the things that are in your backyard, maybe you don't know their uniqueness, but this is something that pulls in people from around the world. And so our goal is to bring awareness to the science that's on the island and the science that's all around us at every time, and promote how special that is, so that when our keiki grow up and go through school, perhaps they might choose a career in an area of science that they were exposed through our museum, or maybe they saw it in their backyard and they connected the dots. It's more than just what you can learn in a classroom. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel here with the museum in terms of education. We find ourselves to be very much a complement to whatever's being taught in the classroom or in homeschool curriculum. We are a 11,000 square foot facility right near Target, so we're downtown, next door to HPM, across the street from Target, and we are open every day except for Thursdays. So that's from 10 a.m. till 5 p.m. currently. We are closed on Thursdays because that's our construction and deep clean day. So we take everything apart, we make sure nothing's broken, we put it all back together. And yes, we do clean every day, but that is when we really get into the grout, so to speak. So we opened in October, and our opening day was generously sponsored by some local businesses we're very grateful for. And through that opening day, we attracted over 1,000 visitors just in that one day. And that's just it for us. That was a moment that showed us how necessary this center is or will become for the community, because we haven't had anything like this. And as a mom personally of two young ones, I need a place often that I know my children are safe, where they're learning something, where they're away from screens and video games. It's more of an analog experience, if you will, where they're actually getting their hands on blocks and in a water table and looking at a periodic table of elements and seeing a chemistry experiment done in front of them, and they can ask questions and learn through playing. And I think that's so important, because it's not a lecture, it's actually an experience. And so we've really built the museum to attract children from 0 to 10 years old through our exhibits. But we also have a phase 2 of our museum that we're building out right now and we're fundraising for, and that is really for 11 and up. What we want to do is create an after-school program or camps or drop-in camps where the older set can learn about 3D printing and soldering and model rocket club and do all sorts of things that require almost like a semi-clean room environment, so we have to store the 3D printers in the filament at a certain temperature. So this requires a bit more of a build out, because our space really, at this point, it's really a warehouse. But we've made it into something beautiful, and immediately when you open, you're struck by how colorful and vibrant everything is. And when you walk through the museum and you see these exhibits on display, you can connect with the science, which is ubiquitous. The science is the same wherever you go globally. But what really makes us special is our hyper-local focus. So everything in our museum is tied back to the island on which we live. And I think that that makes us really a spectacular experience for both the kids who live here, as well as kids from out of state who visit, who want to learn something about the place where they've decided to visit with their families.
Well, don't forget the parents, too.
The parents definitely get something out of it as well. Parents, grandparents, caregivers.
Yeah, and there's all kinds of fun exhibits that you can play in, too.
That's right.
So it's really, really cool. So show them a couple pictures.
So I have a few that I've printed out. So this first picture just kind of showcases our space. So this is our 11,000 square foot building. This is taken from the divider from the middle of the museum. So what you don't see is the workshop space in the back that we're building out currently. But what you do see is many people. This was opening day, and some of our exhibits. So we have a baby play area that's fenced in and very safe, and has lots of wooden toys for open kind of play for the young ones. Everybody is allowed in that space, even though it's fenced in for the 0 to 24 month set. But we really want to encourage respectful and gentle play in that area, so that parents feel safe bringing their babies in there. We have a pop-up planetarium courtesy of Canada France Hawaii Telescope. They had this for demonstration purposes. They bring it around the island for different occasions, and they've given it to us on loan for a few months so that we can start to showcase some of the constellations and the stars in the heavens on an ad hoc basis. So a tour guide would go in there with a family and show what they can see in the sky, especially at our position near the equator. Then we have a water table where you can plant kalo. It's like a wetlands kalo simulation. We have some sensory exhibits that have to do with the ocean, a lot of air-related exhibits, and a beautiful building blocks area with larger-than-life blocks, foam blocks, that children love to use to construct rocket ships and robots and all sorts of other fun things. Homes, often like playhouses, are constructed, and then they knock it down and they build it back up again. So this is a view of the full museum. Here is another view that very nicely showcases our stellar artwork that was done by the Boys and Girls Club this summer. So they went on a beach cleanup event with us, and after the beach cleanup event, we took all that plastic back to the museum. We sorted it into what was and what was not recyclable. We cleaned it up, and then whatever was not recyclable, we augmented with things that they brought from home. So egg cartons and milk jugs, and anything that might have been recyclable, but the label happened to be taken off, so it's no longer accepted as a recyclable product. And so we brought this jellyfish to life, and it's really there it's hanging in the middle of our museum. You can't miss it. It's there to shine a light on the problem of single-use plastics and how we as a society have an obligation to look a little bit deeper into how we're packaging things for human consumption. And I think we can do a lot better, and these kids have all sorts of great ideas through this project. So we hope by hanging this from the rafters that everybody feels a little bit inspired to do something just a little bit better, right? Making a difference.
Can I just hold on for a second? Please. So you got the Boys and Girls Club to help you create that, right?
Yes, we did.
So going back to the volunteer aspect of life.
Yes.
So how can people actually, instead of working with just other organizations like Boys and Girls, are you letting individual volunteers come in and be able to help build the exhibits and help you do that?
Yes, we very much are. So our organization is largely driven by volunteers at this point in time. Because we are new, because we are very much a startup, funding is often a problem. So volunteers actually run the show. Myself and my other two co-founders, Dana and Janess, we're all strictly volunteer basis. We haven't been paid since we've started this, just because we know how much the community needs this. And so what we're looking for are volunteers who have the same passion, who understand the mission and want to contribute to it. So everything from retired school teachers to someone who has interest in childhood development, carpenters, plumbers, people who just like woodworking, working with their hands, people who have extra time that would love to explain a scientific concept to kids real time, high school students, anybody really who has some time to spare, who loves the museum as much as we do. We would welcome you whatever time you have, regular basis or even once in a while if you don't live here full time. We do screen everybody to make sure that it's safe for everyone to work with kids, so that process might take a little bit of time. But I do want to also make a plug here for RSVP, which is our Retired and Senior Volunteer Program. It is run through the County of Hawaii, and it's through that program that anybody who lives here can apply to be a volunteer at one of many nonprofits across the island. And the program has many benefits, two that I want to highlight. One is liability insurance. So while you're on a volunteer project, you are able to be covered by a policy that if you were to get injured during your time working, you would have no out-of-pocket expense, which is huge. And the second thing is a mileage reimbursement. So your time spent driving to and from the facility that you're working for is reimbursed, which is a huge benefit too, because gas prices are not low.
Right.
So I just wanted to say we would accept anybody with any sort of passion in this area for any period of time. The best way to find us is online. So we have a website, Hawaii Keiki Museum.org. We also have a Facebook page at HKM Kona and an Instagram page at HKM Kona as well.
That's awesome. So the fact that both of you are working with ocean education, right? That you get a chance to learn as a child inside the center, and then you can go out and you can actually see it in action at the bay is pretty awesome. So I love the fact that you take anybody who's willing to donate their time to children's science and everything else, and then Cindy's helping people who like to work outside, who like to learn more about the culture of Hawaii too. I heard about this Kilo program that you've been doing, where you're teaching people basically how to watch the environment. Tell us a little bit about that real quick.
A kilo is a Hawaiian term in where you're it's an observance method where you are really focused on what is happening around you and in your environment. And so at Kahaluu, we also do a training with our volunteers on how to really not only educate our visitors, but really respect the environment through observation, through looking at our coral reefs and our marine natural resources. So it's important that for us and for Keiki Museum, we do work together. We have the Legacy Reef Foundation at the Keiki Museum that works closely with Kahaluu Bay Education Center. And I think when we have our children come into an environment that is hands-on, like the Keiki Museum and like Kahaluu, they become much more in tune to the environment and what needs to be done to take care of place. Mm-hmm. And I'm very, very thankful for your endeavors.
Yay. And so if you're coming to Hawaii and you do want to give back, obviously you can be in the shade, working in the organization that helps kids. You can be outdoors, put your sunscreen on, mineral only, and get a chance to meet both of these wonderful women doing amazing things in our community. And so again, we'll drop the organization's websites down below. And I want to thank you both for the work that you're doing in the community and also for being here today to help us learn more about what you guys are doing. So thank you very much.